So I'm here with Addison Ryder, and she is the singer of the band For the Fire. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right, so how did you all meet to form a band?
It's all kind of scattered, actually. I was in a band with our lead guitarist, Tyler, and we were in some other band called Tragic Paradise, and through that band I started getting really involved in the local music scene, and through that I met our drummer, who is Justin Whitlow, and he was like, oh, you should join my band, we should start our own band. So we kind of started doing that, and we started looking for more members, and then we met our bassist, Jesse, and then eventually we needed a lead guitarist, so we brought Tyler in.
All right. You guys recently released an EP, Who We Ought to Be. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, it's our first ever release, and it was really kind of quickly done. We just kind of wrote songs, and we were like, we like these songs, we need to get them out as soon as possible, even though it took forever. So, yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience trying to record something on our own and get it out to the public, but we're very proud to have it out.
But right after the EP, you guys went on tour, and that was like, did you guys book all that?
We did. I actually booked like every date on that show myself. Yeah.
All right, but how was the tour? Was it?
It was an interesting experience. I definitely miss it a lot. It's one of those things where it's very emotional because you don't really know what to expect. So I had really high expectations, and then I kind of got in the car with like 3 other dudes, and it wasn't really the same, like the exact thing I thought it would be. But I definitely miss it. It was definitely really fun, and it really brought us together.
What's the strangest thing that happened on tour?
We met some weird people. We slept on some really weird, sketchy floors in some people's houses. I broke a light bulb with my head at a show once. We were playing a house show in Ohio, and the ceiling was super low, and I was jumping, and I shattered a light bulb with my skull, and everybody started freaking out. That was probably one of the weirdest things that happened.
What are some of the bands that you have played with?
Bigger bands, we've played with bands like I Prevail, Icon for Hire. We opened up for Austin Jones a little while ago. I Set to Kill, bands like that.
What are some of you guys' musical influences?
Well, when we first started, we were kind of like, oh, we want to be a female front and A Day to Remember. But it didn't really work out quite that way. But I would say like A Day to Remember and Beartooth and Flyleaf are probably a few of our influences, yeah.
Well, what are some of your influences?
My influences?
Yeah.
Flyleaf is a big influence on me because I listened to them since I was a kid. I like Paramore. I like A Day to Remember. Yeah.
So where did the name For the Fire actually come from?
It's actually kind of a funny story. For like 4 years before the Fire started, I was just totally obsessed with the idea of wanting to be in a band. And I had this whole list of band names that I liked. It just saved in my phone for like years. So we were trying to come up with a band name, and I looked through that, and I saw For the Fire, and I was like, oh, that's kind of catchy, but I have no idea where that came from. So it took me like 2 weeks, and I was like, how the heck are we going to use this as our band name if I don't even know what it's from? And it's actually from a lyric. There was this band in 2005 called Between the Trees, and they had a song called A Time for Yowie, which is about Renee Yowie, who helped start the To Write Love on Her Arms movement. And they have a lyric that says, we're still waiting for the fire, and I guess I listened to that, and I was like, that's really cool. I like that.
Right. What do you guys, or what was it like for you guys to see yourselves growing a bigger fan base?
It's definitely very refreshing. I I tend to have some self-doubt when it comes to our music career, as most musicians do, so it's always really just refreshing to have a supportive fan base backing you up.
So with the release of the song "If I Had a Chance to Burn You," we can only think there's a new EP gonna come out eventually. Can you tell me what that EP is gonna be like, or without really being too much, but?
Yeah, we haven't announced really anything about it yet, but we're definitely trying to mature in our writing process as much as we possibly can. We are writing music that will hopefully blow all of our old music completely just out of the water, and I'm really excited about it. We have a lot of ideas we're working on that are just, I think they're awesome. So I'm really excited about that.
Are you guys aiming for a different sound with it, or?
We're trying to keep that classic For the Fire sound while also expanding as much as possible. So we're going to keep the sort of feel that our first song, Mistake, has, with that sort of alternative rock with breakdowns and stuff in it. So that's totally going to be a little bit of what that EP is going to be about.
Do you guys think your music spreads a message to people?
Yeah, well, from a lyrical perspective, I try to write about personal hope as much as possible. I know a lot of our fans are struggling with a bunch of different things, and so music is that one avenue where people can come together and just keep going despite all of that. And so I hope that our music delivers a sort of message of hope and perseverance to the people that listen to us.
What is your guys' songwriting process like?
It depends. With the EP, a lot of times I just wrote all the songs acoustically, and then I would send demos over to Tyler, and then he would sort of piece them together as a full band. Nowadays, it also goes either like that, or Tyler, he'll just come up with a full instrumental, and he'll send it my way and be like, write a melody. So, yeah.
Well, what's the recording for all that like?
The way that we've always gone about recording, Tyler is actually a producer. He is an aspiring producer, and so the best way for us to go for a while has always been through him. We released Who We Ought to Be through him and our single through him. But we definitely want to take our music to the next step, so in the future we will be recording with a professional studio, and hopefully it'll sound a lot better.
Odd question, do you have an ego of an average vocalist?
I hope not.
Hope not.
I try not to. I don't think so.
There's another fragile shadow and I'm lost in the waves. Please don't ever listen to what your voices have to say. You gotta run away. You're not a mistake.
So what do you guys hope for the future of For the Fire?
We definitely want to grow as much as possible. I would love to be able to call myself a successful touring and recording artist. We want to tour and see as many places as possible and just meet as many of our fans as we can while we can. I hope that we can just accomplish this dream that music provides for us.
All right, and last but not least, what advice could you give to other local musicians that are trying to spread their music?
Obsess. You have to be crazy and perseverant and determined if you want to make it. I have spent so many nights just staying up all night, just messaging different people and emailing different people. You have to really grind. So no matter what, you just can't give up, ever.
Just keep trying, basically.
Just keep going. Just keep grinding, and eventually you'll start seeing some profit.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.